Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube. My name's Jesse Dobson. I live on the Sunshine Coast and I'm a professional motocross and supercross racer for Yamaha. I thought I would do this video to introduce myself a little bit for people that may not know a whole lot about me. So I put a Q&A up on my Instagram, on my stories, and the amount of people that had questions and chimed into it, thank you so much. So I thought, with COVID putting a delay on our racing a little bit, and I've got a little bit more extra spare time, I thought that I could play around with the YouTube stuff. Don't expect a whole lot. I've wanted to do this for ages, but I don't know a whole lot about editing. I don't know, I'm just playing around with filming and stuff like that, and I'm gonna have my girlfriend to help me along the way to film bits and pieces, and anyone else that's at the track there, with me, they'll be on the camera. So the filming might not be that great, but we'll try and make the most of it, and hopefully it gives you an idea of what professional motocross racers in Australia kind of get up to, and how we train and live. I'll get into the questions that everyone asked me on Instagram. I got a few of the same, but I'll try and answer them as best I can and as quickly as I can, because I've got a few to get through. So first one is, what made you want to start racing and where did you get your determination? So when I was growing up, I was little, I was a toddler running around the house and whatnot. Mum and dad had bikes and they liked riding, and I guess I saw that from an early age, and I saw it on TV, and I actually used to watch the Krusty Demons DVDs on the television, and I used to love it. So Mum and Dad got me a bike, and I think I had my first race at my local club, which is at Coolum, and that first year we went to the Australian titles and I somehow ended up winning. So I got the taste of winning from then, I guess, and I've never looked back. I love it, love what I do, and from there it's just been full steam ahead. So yeah, I wouldn't change that for the world, and here we are today. Next question is, favorite bike you've ridden? I've had a lot of favorite bikes over the years. I really like my KTM 450s, and when I was riding for factory KTM, and I loved my Husqvarnas, but they're 450s and they don't compare to what I'm riding now. I love my Yamaha race bike. If I could have one bike for the rest of my life, it'd probably be that thing. It's a rocket ship, and I love it. Every time I get on it, I've got a massive smile ear to ear, and the boys put in the hard work and the hard yards to get it how it is. Biggest thing you've achieved in your years of racing? So the biggest thing I've achieved in my racing is not a results thing. It's like a personal achievement of mine. In 2019, my deal fell through and I got pretty much left with nothing. And I had some good people around me and some close friends that helped me. Paul Berrick from MPE gave me a bike to ride for the year, and I had one bike, and then my good friend Aidan Porth come to every round with me off his own back, out of his own pocket to help me, and I guess he just saw my determination. I didn't want to give up, and I did it on pretty much no money that year. We had people letting us sleep in their cars at the tracks before races, and it was pretty crazy, but it's a time I'll never forget, and I wanted to rebuild myself that year and try and get back to a factory ride, and that's exactly what I did. So yeah, to overcome that, and at the start of the year I was in a pretty dark place because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go racing. Mentally I was struggling, and to overcome all that and to where I am now, that's probably my biggest achievement, I'd say. This is a good question. What was your first sponsor? So my first sponsor was, I don't even really know. I've had a lot of sponsors over the years, and a lot of people help me and support me in different ways. And realistically, Mum and Dad were probably my first sponsor because they bought me the bike from to start with and funded everything. But I think just the local dealership at the time on the Sunshine Coast here, which was Griffin Motorcycles. They helped us out with discounts and stuff like that. So I'd say that, you know, they're probably my first sponsor, that was, and from there it's grown, and I've rode for factory junior teams and factory senior teams, and I'm grateful for it all, and thank you to everyone that's helped me along the way. Any tips for riding on the balls of your feet? I've always been an arch of foot on the pegs. This question is a tricky one. My biggest tip is probably just slow it down, and you know, sometimes you got to go slow to go fast. And when I was first learning to ride on my toes, on the balls of my feet, I just focused on it every time I got on the bike. I wasn't trying to do the fastest laps out there. I was just working on my standing position, and it eventually became natural after hours and hours of practicing it. And but you know, now I still go to the track some days, and that's one of the main things I'll work on is my riding technique and where I'm standing on my pegs, and where my legs are, and all of that stuff. It all adds up. So I still go back to basics now and try and practice all those little things. But yeah, all I can say is slow it down, practice it, get it right, and then just keep reminding yourself every time you go on the bike, and it'll eventually just become normal. Joshua Robinson, do you miss living at the F&R workshop? Yeah, I do. It was at the time Josh and Sean were working for Raceline KTM in 2019, and their workshop was based down in Gold Coast. And every time I go down there to ride different tracks and stuff like that, those guys would let me sleep on the couch in the office because I had no money to stay at a motel or anything like that. So yeah, I'd sleep on the couch at the Raceline workshop, and those guys had helped me out with some bike work and bits and pieces, and it was a fun time. Those guys are good guys, and yeah, I'm super grateful for letting me crash on the couch. Another question is, how much faster is the factory bike compared to a stock bike? It depends on what bike and what people like. Some factory teams have access to a lot of stuff that can make the bike so fast. When I rode for factory KTM, I was telling those guys to slow my bike down because it was crazy. I couldn't even hang on to it. The 450s are fast already. All 450s are really fast already. And I pretty much just wanted a stock bike. I know now that the Yamaha 250s come pretty much out of the box, you know, ready to race. Those things are fast. I know the guys are riding stock bikes all over the country and ripping hole shots. My practice bike is pretty much stock with a Yoshimura pipe, and that thing rips. So there is a big difference with some people. It just depends on what you like, but yeah, there's definitely teams that can make a bike fast if you want. Any team can make a bike fast actually, but you got to know how to ride it, and you got to know where you want the power. So this question is privateer / factory comparison, pros and cons of both. So obviously I've had both sides. I've had, you know, some of the best rides in the pits, and I'm on one of the best teams in the pits right now. And I've also been a privateer doing it myself. There's a lot of pros and cons to both. And maybe in the future I'll do a video on it if that's something that you guys want to see, you know, the differences and stuff like that. But for me to answer it now, it would be a 20-minute video because there's so many things that are different between the two. So maybe I'll look at doing that in the future. Oh, here we go. Nugsy60_2. Biggest threat to you through the week for the red plate. So this is a kind of a funny one. We all ride in a group, and we're all trained by Ford Dale. And each day, whoever's the fastest out of me, the Latimer brothers, Kurt Gibbs, Jai Walker, Jed Alsop, or Brock Flynn, whoever's the fastest out of our group, we say gets to take home the red plate. So it's the boys can turn it on all the time during the week, and they definitely send it. So Joey, the boys send it during the week, and they make it tough to get that red plate. We all have our days where we're going fast. But I'd say the biggest threat is probably Gibbsy. Sorry, boys. Alright guys, well, that's all the questions and answers that I'm going to do today, because if I kept going, this video would be half an hour long. Thank you so much for putting your questions in there. I hope I answered them all right, and you know, you got a bit more of an insight about myself. Keep on the lookout on YouTube. I'm going to be trying to drop videos, you know, maybe every 2 weeks, from, you know, my training stuff to being at the track with the boys, to day-to-day stuff. I'm going to try and, you know, cover everything and give you guys a bit of an insight on what I get up to, because we get to live a pretty cool life being motocross riders. So like, comment, hit subscribe, whatever you got to do. I don't know how this YouTube stuff works, but I'm going to try and figure it out. And if you've got any suggestions of what you want to see, let me know, and I'll try and cater for everyone. But thanks a lot, and yeah, keep tuning in, because I'm going to try and keep the videos coming.